They say dogs can sense things that we can't: storms, sickness, even death. But in the town of Marlowe's End, one dog didn't just sense death, he dug it up. And then he waited. This is Tales of the Beard, and this is the story of Baxter, the grave digging dog. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully, you're as excited as I am for this other Tales of the Beard. And for anybody wondering, I'm your host, your storyteller, your tailor, Matt, also known as Beard Laws. You don't care. You want to know about the good boy Baxter. So let's jump into this. Because it all started the morning the fog rolled in. Not a soft morning mist, but a dense yellow-gray curtain that swallowed up the roads, the mailboxes, and the breath in your lungs. Old man Willis said it smelled like copper and moss, like the earth exhaling something it shouldn't have. That's when Baxter, the big black mutt who lived behind the Marlowe General Store, started to act, well, strange. Normally he lounged in the sun or chased crows, tail wagging like he owned the place. But that morning he paced, growled, barked at nothing. Then, Baxter, he vanished. 3 days passed. Search parties went out, figuring he chased a deer, or maybe he just wandered a little bit too far. But then, a boy named Jamie found him in the old cemetery, just behind Holloway Hill. Yeah, Holloway Hill. I know what I'm talking about, you little Marlowians. Anyways, Baxter, know what he was doing? He was digging. Not frantically like a dog after a squirrel. Methodically, slowly, as if he knew exactly where to dig and what he'd find. Jamie called for him. The dog didn't flinch, just one paw after the next, dirt flying in a rhythm like a funeral drum. The weirdest part, though, there was no gravestone. There was no marker. There was no name. There was just a fresh, empty hole and a box underneath. By the time the sheriff arrived, a small crowd had gathered. Half the town. Well, at least it seemed. Baxter stood over the box, his fur matted with dirt, unmoving. It was a coffin, child size, weathered, but not old. Sheriff Miller hesitated, and he did what no man wanted to do. He opened it. Inside was a dress, a locket, and bones. But here's the thing. This box wasn't supposed to be there. The cemetery was surveyed just last year. No unmarked graves. Nothing in that patch for over 50 years. And the locket? You're probably wondering about the locket. It had Jamie's mother's name engraved on it. The thing is, she went missing when Jamie was 2, and her body was never found. That night, the storm came. Lightning with no thunder. Winds that hissed like snakes through the trees. And Baxter, well, Baxter was gone again. Well, until they found him. Same spot. Digging. Another hole. This time, the box that held the remains of a man. Hands bound. Throat cut. The next morning, Sheriff Miller, he turned in his badge. He straight up quit. He packed a bag, said he wouldn't stick around to see what Baxter unearthed next. And over the next 2 weeks, Sheriff Miller, he quit for good reason, because Baxter, he uncovered not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 more boxes, each one unmarked, each one real, and each victim connected. They were all part of the original Marlowe Town Council from 30 years ago. A group rumored to have done something dark to secure the land and wealth that built the town. The legend, they called it the blood vote. A deal struck with something not of this earth, buried, literally, with their guilt. Nobody had ever found proof until Baxter started to dig. One foggy morning, Baxter was gone. This time, for good. Some say he was just a dog, guided by instincts that we, us humans, we just don't understand. Others, they say something else was working through him, that Baxter wasn't digging graves. He was working to expose secrets. And the scariest part, there are still 12 council members who are never accounted for. 12 boxes still hidden somewhere beneath our feet. And somewhere out there, the dirt is shifting, and maybe, just maybe, Baxter 2 will be back. This has been Tales of the Beard. Sleep well, if you can. And if your dog starts digging in the yard tonight, you might want to let him finish. And then call a realtor and put the house up for sale. But that's all we got. We'll be back next week with another Tales from the Beard. Take care, everybody.